Started now with the next checkpoint meeting. Thomas is back. Right, so by this time, we said last week that you should have finished all of the assignments in lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3. Okay, so I'd like to hear from you. We haven't checked exactly who has done what, but I'd like to hear if any of you have any problems finishing the assignments in lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3. So let me hear from you guys. Okay, so Damas, I was just saying I'm trying to extend the deadline for you. So you should be able to complete the rest of the assignments. Yeah, okay, so Chuck, same for you. The deadline for assignment 1 has passed. So the reason it's passed is because that in the next 2 weeks, so starting in next week, you will have to start working on the actual applications, that the portlets for the applications which you will be assigned. And so we Oops. Okay, sorry guys. Network connectivity problem. Can you hear me okay? Yes, okay, good. So we set the deadlines for those assignments with the idea in mind that for the next 2 weeks after the end of this one, you will be working on your applications. And you can't really do that unless you've finished all of the prerequisite stuff. Okay? So what I'm going to do is can I ask who has not finished assignment 1, 2, and 3? Stick up your hand, please. Push the stick up your hand button. Okay, 1, 2. So Chucks and O'Hary, how about you guys? Have you finished assignments 1, 2, and 3? Madaha has not finished. Thank you. Okay, so no one finished. Oh, that's not good. Guys, we need to finish the assignments. So I'm going to extend the deadline until Friday. Now remember that there's 2 other lessons, 5 and 6. There's 4, 5, and 6, 3 other lessons, which you also have to finish by Friday. Okay? So please take some time to try to finish these assignments. I'm going to go and extend the deadline just after this meeting, so you can go back and finish the assignments. I'm assuming that all of you have tried to do the assignments. So, okay, if there's any problems that you might have had, I see some of you have mentioned them on the forum. That's great. Please continue to do that, okay? If there's anything you want to talk about now, like any particular technical problem, then we can talk about it quickly. Last time, for example, some people mentioned that they had problems to stream the video. I don't know if that's still an issue for you. So we suggested that you download the video from the open access repository and watch it offline. How's that working out for you guys? Okay. What about Madaha? Okay. Mada, so the question was that some people were having network problems when watching the streaming video, and we suggested that you download the entire lecture, video lecture, and watch it offline if you have network problems. Mine is not. Okay, so O'Hary, can you just explain exactly what you mean when you say mine is not working? So I'm not talking about this meeting. I'm talking about the video lectures. There's no video in this meeting. There's only me speaking and you guys typing. Okay, so you're not supposed to see any video. Yeah, that's what everybody else can hear too. Okay, we haven't enabled your microphones just to reduce the noise, that's all. Okay, so that's why we want you to talk over chat. Let me just make a quick announcement from Roberto about what we expect you to have done by next Thursday. Okay, so we're going to be writing this on the course's website as an announcement with a deadline. By next Thursday, we want you to have finished all of the assignments. Okay, all of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is more than enough time. The assignments. Okay, so if you haven't finished 1 and 2, you need to hurry up because the deadline is already passed. You'll see that some of the assignments for 1 and 2 require peer assessments. Okay, so you need to evaluate other people's responses, right? And that means that, of course, some people have to. Someone's got to get started, and so if nobody gets to that point, then you can't evaluate each other's responses. So at least in section 1 and 2, those were the ones that I was responsible for. Some of the questions, some of the assignments are kind of text-based. You have to write a paragraph or so. And you first have to evaluate each other's responses. So one student has to look at the response of another student and say whether or not it's good or bad. And only once you've done that can we evaluate those responses. Okay. Now remember, this counts towards the final mark, the final exam. There will be a certificate issued. Okay, and it's very important that you take these assignments seriously. So the deadline itself can be moved a little bit, but if you do move it, that's going to impact on the actual work that you need to do for the application. We want to assign these applications on Monday. So that means that in principle you should have finished all of the let's say theory assignments. Everything in the lectures should be finished by then, because for the 2 weeks after that it's going to be more or less autonomous work. Okay, so you're going to be developing these application portlets. We're going to be testing them automatically. We're going to be available to discuss, but we won't be around to help you with basic things. That's the whole point of doing the first 2 weeks of work. Okay, so so please try to finish those assignments by next week, Thursday, by the next time we have a checkpoint meeting. Right, again, all of these dates will be announced on the course's website, so you'll see an announcement there. Good. Madaha says, I don't have a problem with video, but my problem is the lesson presentations available in notebook. Well, Madaha, can you just explain what exactly you mean? Do you have a problem watching the lesson videos or the lesson presentations on the course's website? How are you going through this course? You should be following the lectures via the course's website. What?
You can have another mic, please.
Mike? No, he's typing, so I'll just wait for him to finish typing. Have you taken attendance, Mario?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You are following the videos, good. Lesson 2 does not display words clearly. So you're talking about lesson 2 in the video, right? And you want to see the presentation just by itself. Is that right? I'm assuming that's right, if you want to see the presentation just by itself and kind of follow through the slides as you watch the video, the presentation itself is listed as a textbook in the course's website, and you can also get the presentations from the open access repository. I'm just going to pass you the link here. There's a category for lessons, and so you should be able to get all of the lessons, the presentations at least, from here. Okay. Yeah, okay, sorry, I was back. So the slides, which is very weird.
So, can you hear me? Okay, Bruce is going, he's having a network problem, so he come back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Let's kill your microphone. Sorry about that. Turn off your speakers. Okay, sorry about that. We had a bit of feedback there. Okay, so Madaha, I hope you can hear us again. I had some network problems that they fixed now. The link that I've shown you there is the collection of slides of all the lessons, okay? But the lessons are also kept as the textbook of the course, okay? So if you go to the course's website and you look at the textbook tab, then you have all of the lessons there in the slide format, okay? So the idea is that we don't want you to have to go out of the website of courses.sci-GaIA.eu. All the coursework is inside there. But if you really want to download the slides and kind of use them for different things, and have them available offline on your laptop, then you can get them from the open access repository. Okay, it's the same thing as the videos. The videos are also in the open access repository, and so if you want to have them offline, you can download them and do them offline. The only thing you can't do offline is the assignments. Okay, so the things that are done within the coursework website, you can't do that offline. It's not as if you can write a file and send it to us and then have us grade it. We have to have you graded within the course's website. Okay, so those are the assignments. You'll notice that some of the lectures ask you to do practicals, okay? So there's a bit of a difference between an assignment and a practical. An assignment is something that is evaluated within courses.sci-GaIA.eu, and that's, there's these different kinds of problems which you have to do, multiple choice or text box. You have to write some text or select an option or something like that. Those are the things that we use to evaluate you. That's called an assignment. There's also what we call a practical, and so the practicals are things like create a repository in GitHub or write some code and then we'll check that. Those are practicals, and so those are not directly evaluated by the course's website, but we will be watching that and we will be checking that out and include it as part of your score. Okay, so any questions so far? I'm assuming there's no questions so far. Okay, so let's just take a look at what you're supposed to learn in Lesson 3. So Lesson 3 is all about portlet development, and it's a lesson given by Marco Pacetta. You can see in the textbook tab, you've got all the slides there, And so by the end of lesson 3, you should be able to develop a kind of standard, very simple Hello World portlet. And when you do start working on that, we're going to be doing continuous integration on that, on your work, okay? So we're going to ask you to tell us where your work's repository is. We're going to connect those repositories to our Jenkins instance, and Jenkins is going to be testing your code. That's going to be one of the ways in which we evaluate your code. It's also going to be a good way for you to see if you're doing things correctly. Okay. In the case of lesson 3, it's not such an important thing because you're doing very simple code, very, very simple. You're just writing a very simple portlet. In the case of lecture 4, so lesson 4 is the user interface development. You'll see that you go a little bit more into detail about web technologies. Okay, so Antonio Calanducci is the instructor who gave this lecture, and he goes into various aspects of the web interface. So the user interface, the components of the user interface, describing different kinds of user interface libraries and so on. Tony has set up some assignments for you to do as well. We will also be checking that code in Jenkins that you write. Okay. So while lesson 1 and lesson 2 were very simple, they were just getting started, making sure you've got the right accounts, going through the motions of setting up Docker and GitHub. Lesson 3 and 4 is writing a little bit of code, and lesson 5 and lesson 6 go through Liferay and the grid engine. Okay, so we go a little bit more into detail about how Liferay works, and then in lesson 5 we talk about the development of Liferay and so setting up various aspects of a Liferay portlet. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Mario was the one who did that lesson. Am I right? Yeah, no, that was Marco. Sorry, lesson 5. Mario did lesson 6 and lesson 7, right? Okay, so lesson 6 and lesson 7 is kind of the final part of your theoretical introduction, and by the end of that, you should be able to submit trivial jobs to a computing backend. Okay. So as you can see, if you haven't finished lesson 1 and lesson 2, you've really got a lot of work ahead of you to do. That was the simplest part of the course, obviously, being in the beginning, and so we really need you to step up your finishing of the assignments. We are expecting a lot more questions and problems and instructor time necessary for you from lesson 4 and 5 onwards. Okay, so that's going to have serious implications for how much time we can spend with you. What else can I say about that? Not much. Any other questions from you guys? Any other things you want to talk about or things you want to say? If you don't say anything now, I'm just going to assume that everything's fine, and if everything's fine, then I don't understand why we haven't finished the assignments. So, so some of you have given some valid reasons. Obviously, we're not trying to get in your way. If you do have problems, we really want to solve them. Okay, so please tell us as soon as you find an issue or if you have a problem, and we'll find a way to get around it. So I'm going to wait another few minutes just to give everyone a chance to say something if they want to say something, report an issue, talk about any problems you may have. No one? Okay. All right. Well, in that case, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, and I will be very surprised if everybody has not finished 1, 2, and 3 at least. Okay, we expect you to, according to the schedule of the course, to have finished also 4. But given the fact that almost nobody has finished 1 and 2, we're going to extend that deadline a little bit. Okay. So that's that, I guess, from my side. I don't have anything else to say for now. Owen, you have your hand raised. Speak. Okay. Owen, your microphone is enabled, so go ahead. Or type Typing is good. Or speak. Speaking is also good.
If you want to speak, we have to enable your mic from the icon on top of the screen.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, let me hear you.
All right, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies there. I was just going to say, Bruce, apologies that we've been a bit slow, particularly the Echo Connect team. We have members of the team in different parts of Nigeria, and they've been having some different connectivity challenges. We're trying to get that sorted out by today, tomorrow. So hopefully over the weekend, by Monday, they will try to catch up with the courses. So I know the pace has been a bit slow, but we are trying to sort out some of the connectivity issues that some of the members have.
Much appreciated, Owen. So we do appreciate the technical challenges, and as I mentioned, I mean the point of the course is not to get in the way of anybody doing work. We really want to help solve any issues that are there, so we can be creative where we can. The only real constraints that we have is that the assignments need to be done. So any way that you can follow the course material, online, offline, whatever. The only thing that has to be done online, as I mentioned, is the assignments, and that shouldn't be too much of a bandwidth requirement. So so let us know, if we need to extend deadlines and so on. That's also fine. What we really want out of this course is, obviously to teach you the participants certain technology, but we also want these applications to actually go into the Science Gateway. So that's why we've set aside these 2 weeks of work, and we really don't want to cut into that. So we're quite happy to extend deadlines. It's not as if we have to be severe with anybody. This is a course for us, not not for anybody else. But we do want to have those applications actually finished by the end of the school. So that's why we have this time constraints. So don't feel castigated in any way. We want to be as open and helpful as possible. And as soon as you bump into issues, anybody who's listening, just let us know immediately what they are, and we'll do whatever we can to address them. Right, Dennis had his hand up. Dennis, do you want to say something? Oh, sorry, it's not Dennis? Wow, that's a hard name to say. Okay, hey, Dien, sorry man, I'm having a hard time saying your name. Dienaba, is that right? Dienaba? Welcome, it's very good to have you here. Can you just remind me which institute you're coming from? Okay, no worries. As as I mentioned before, we want to help. So if you missed the meeting, that's okay. You may have missed the initial meetings. We recorded them, and they are going to be on YouTube and on the open access repository. Okay, so if you missed the meeting, then I'll write a topic on the forum that we can put the links to all of the previous meetings on that, okay? And we'll write an announcement about that. So try to catch up. you're obviously welcome to, we really want you to participate to the next meetings. They're basically every Monday and Thursday at this time. If you can't make them for any reason, please just let us know, and we'll deal with any issues that you have offline via the discussion forum. Okay? So yeah, please, don't feel like nobody's in school here. We are not teachers and you are not actually students. We're all professionals, so we try to be practical and solve any problems that come up. Okay. Dennis, did you have something to say? Do you want to say something? Okay, good. If you are enjoying the course, by the way, we would really appreciate it if you could write about that. So maybe you have like a institutional blog or personal blog or whatever. It would be really nice if you could just tell, you could tell us obviously, but we don't want to have emails because we need to be able to show other people your opinions. And of course, good or bad, we're really open to kind of constructive criticism if you want to make any suggestions, anything like that. We haven't really said this, but it's very welcome, okay? So if you have anything to say about the content or, the way the course is run, the format of the course, anything at all. Of course, if you just want to say the course is great, then that's fine too. Please feel free to write whatever you want, wherever you want. Just send us the link if it's a public website. This would be really useful for the project, and it would really help us as well to kind of improve the course next time. So yeah, I should just mention that. Okay, so I'm guessing no one else has any issues. If there are no objections, we're going to call this meeting to a close right now. Anything that arises, please head over to the forum, and yeah, we'll see you online, I guess.